Well, good morning, everyone. How are you? Once again, welcome to another live here this morning. And back in the saddle, back in back in the studio this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. You get your notifications. And let's see if I can say hello to you guys. We'll see. Hopefully, yes. I see. Okay. Welcome, everyone. And here we are. Okay. Let's see. Madeleine, Brahim, Sandy, Chilliwack, British Columbia, Lynn, Aurora, Rosalinda. How are you? Beverly, good morning. Natalie, Shelley, Sherwood Park, Alberta. Andrea from Niagara Falls. Janine, how are you? Rosa, Moriel, Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Marla, Patricia from Florida. Nick from our staff. Shirley, Twingate, Newfoundland. Heather, Miramichi. Patricia, good morning. Pulaski, Tennessee. Well, hello. Nativity. Did I say hello? No, I don't think I did. Lisa Marie, Francis, Bruno, Marl from Ottawa. Francis Marie, Joanne, Helga, how are you? Jeanette Kapuskasing. We love you guys. Another Patricia, Sherry, oh, I want to sing. Milika, good morning. Nancy, how are you? And Karen from Coldwater. It'd be cold today, I can guarantee it. Carol, West Virginia. Janice, Brampton. Chaz, how are you? Maryland. Donna, good morning from Park Hill. John and Linda, Fenland Falls. Annette, how are you? Bonjour. Brenda, good morning to you. We love you guys. Is Kevin there? And it's Kevin's birthday, Rosalinda? Wow. Our mayor. The mayor of our community. Brenda. Arlene. Dave. Tina, Nova Scotia. Okay. We got a lot of questions to get to, so let's get to them. It was fun saying hello, and I know I always miss someone. So, anyway. We love you. If I miss you, I didn't do it on purpose. See, I didn't even see Doc McEwen's name there. But she's usually on. So we're saying hello. Teresa is asking a good question. I've been hearing from two sources, two requirements for vitamin D to work properly, and would love to know if they're true. So she's asking Dr. Martin. Vitamin D needs to be taken with fat because it's a fat-soluble vitamin, so it won't absorb on an empty stomach unless taken with fat. That's the first question, or the first source. The other source says vitamin D needs to be taken with magnesium. Without it, vitamin D stays inactive. Well, Teresa, let me answer that. Good question. Guys, you know this, so I'm just going to, repeat it. There's a lot of stuff on the internet. And I like that. And my audience is the best audience. Why? They ask questions. They get information. I like that. Okay? Now, what you're talking about, Teresa, is vitamin D from the supplement, okay? There's 3 ways to get vitamin D. The best way is in the sun. The other way is in food. And the third way is to get it through supplementation, okay? The sun obviously doesn't have to be fat soluble. I mean, vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin, but it's also, remember, a hormone. So if you get in the sun, you get vitamin D. Well, not in the winter if it's, because the best way to get vitamin D, to up your vitamin D, is in the sun, but you got to expose your arms and legs. It's almost impossible to get enough sun in the winter. It's not going to happen. Now, getting out in the sunlight is good for you, even then, because it will elevate your melatonin. Now, vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin. It's preferable to take it with food, okay? Like bacon and vitamin D supplement go well together, okay? It does. Is it absolutely necessary? No, because I'll tell you why I know that. Because I have proven that to people by measuring their vitamin D levels, whether they were taking vitamin D with fat in food as a supplement. No. Better? Yes. Absolutely necessary? No. Okay? It isn't absolutely necessary. It's preferable, Teresa. The third, or the other thing that you saw, you need to take vitamin D with magnesium. Okay? Now, I don't agree with that. I love magnesium. You don't have to convince me about magnesium and how good it is for you. I always liked it. But I see that too. The odd time somebody writes that, oh, you got to take magnesium with vitamin D. That's not true. Now, magnesium needs to be present in your body if you want your vitamin D to be more absorbable. Yes, but you don't. Again, guys, you know me. I love magnesium. But it's not absolutely necessary to take magnesium with vitamin D. Okay? What's necessary and what's the best is taking a vitamin D supplement with K2. Why? Because vitamin K2 will take calcium. Vitamin D is good for calcium. And even doctors know that. Well, it's good for your bones. That's all they think it's good for, but it is good for your bones. And K2 brings calcium out of your blood into bones where it belongs. So I like vitamin D in a supplement with K2. Okay? Now, in nature, when you're eating food, remember, like the Inuit, I've talked about this many a time. The Inuit, formerly known as Eskimos, how did they get vitamin D? It certainly wasn't from the sun. They got it from the food that they ate. They ate fat. They got it cod liver oil. They got vitamin D and in their food. And in food, in nature, vitamin D in eggs, vitamin D in meat, vitamin D in cheese, dairy, is good for you. Okay? And because it's not only fat, but it's got K2 built in. See, God put K2 in food. Cheese, cream, steak, eggs, okay? All have vitamin K2. And the only issue with food and vitamin D is you got to eat that every day. Otherwise, your vitamin D, like that's why the Inuit, they had good levels of vitamin D, but because it's not the sun and they weren't even supplementing, they were getting it in their food, in their diet. We don't get that. People don't eat enough fat. They don't eat enough of that kind of food, they need to supplement with vitamin D. Okay? It's the sun, unless you're living in Florida, it's this time of the year that you need to up your vitamin D supplementation. Okay? Thank you for the questions, Teresa. Much appreciated. Sandy, what is your opinion on using Crystal Body deodorant stick, which is made from natural mineral salts? Yeah, I like it. Look, you guys do everything you can to be natural. Okay, so deodorant, as long as it works, I got yeah, for sure. Like, try it and you'll like it or whatever. But I always use this thinking. I don't care what you do. You can run, but you can't hide from chemicals, xenoestrogens. They're everywhere. Microplastics. Good luck. You'd have to leave the planet. So yeah, do everything you can. Do everything you can. But the best thing that you can do is keep your liver clean, because your liver really makes, if your liver is empty and it's not full of fat, it will do the job on detoxing. Plus, there's a lot of good research out there on probiotics and detoxing microplastics. Okay? There you go. Thanks, Sandy. We appreciate it. Okay? John, what are your thoughts on parasites in organs causing cancer and autoimmune? Well, listen, I got a little bit different take than parasites. I don't look foreign invaders. I'm more of the school of yeast, fungus being related to cancer rather than parasites. Although I'm not, at the end of the day, don't feed the bears. That's another reason why I don't want people, like, you want to prevent cancer, you got to get off sugar. Our bodies were never meant to consume a dump load of sugar, and that's what people do today, and especially that high fructose corn syrup. So am I against when doctors say, oh, it's parasites? I think it's fungus. I think it's yeast more at the root of it. And what is that, by the way? Leaky gut? How did yeast take over your body? It invaded the southern border. And then it invades the northern border, the blood-brain barrier. And yeast is a carrier of toxins. It carries heavy metals. So that's me. I'm more about a yeast fungus guy. Do I believe in parasites? You bet your boots. But if you thought parasites, okay, let me just say this. This is going to be a little controversial. But if you thought parasites caused cancer, none of you would have a pet. Because they lick you, you got parasites. Okay? They're animals. You kiss them. You pet them. A lot of you sleep with them. Okay? So, I don't think parasites cause cancer. That's me. Okay? I think it's yeast. It's fungus. It's leaky gut. It's one of the big issues. and insulin and too much estrogen that makes things grow. Listen, I look at all the studies. I look at, the people, every cancer is a parasite. Maybe. Okay, I don't dismiss it. I tell you the truth, because we're dog lovers. We're cat lovers in this world, aren't we? Well, you never would have a pet in your home if you were worried about parasites. Okay? So, I don't know. They don't mention that. But I mention it because that's the truth. Okay. Iris, I have a benign thyroid nodule, you and millions of others. Should I take a thyroid supplement? My doctor didn't suggest anything. Well, it depends, Iris. I love our thyroid supplement. Compare it to any other thyroid supplement, and there's no comparison. Okay? That's my opinion. But what are your symptoms? Because whenever I talk about thyroid, I always talk about thyroid symptoms. Because blood work, having a nodule on your thyroid doesn't concern me too much necessarily. I'm more interested in your symptoms. How are you feeling? What is your energy levels like? What is your hair like? What are your eyebrows like? Are you gaining weight? Just looking at food, okay? So, but thyroid, our supplement, is so good for you, you have no idea. Tens of thousands of people every day take that supplement. And a lot of them are even on thyroid medication. It just because the way we formulated the thyroid supplement is that you have to remember your thyroid is a puppet. It's got a lot of strings attached. But headquarters for your thyroid is not your thyroid. Headquarters is up here, your hypothalamus and your pituitary gland in the brain. You better aim there if you want to affect. That's why our formula starts at the top. Headquarters for the thyroid, because your thyroid won't release any thyroid stimulating hormone, because that comes from headquarters. So, good question. Okay? Yeah, no problem taking the thyroid supplement. A lot of people do, and they have no symptoms. It stimulates the thyroid gland, and it comes from the top down. Okay, thank you for the question, Iris. Karen, my son and I both take your probiotics. You're smart, and tell your son he is too. DHA and Ultra Digestol, the enzymes. Smart, smart, smart. But our budget is allowing only us to take one a day. Each a day. Is that beneficial? Big time. For sure. Absolutely. Look, when people came into my office and saw me, I was very specific on the dosage for probiotics, for example, DHA. You asked me a specific condition, and sometimes I'm upping the dosage because of just my clinical experience in treating a certain condition, right? So, absolutely, one DHA. You ain't getting that much DHA if you go to Costco or Walmart in one capsule. There's no way. You can take 5 of those to get what the amount of DHA we put in one. So for sure, Absolutely. Your budget, Karen, hey, I get that. I understand that. Okay? So for sure you're getting big time benefits. Enzymes, like we have 8 different enzymes of lipase and amylase and protease. And then we put oil of oregano in it to kill fungus, to kill parasites. That's what oil of oregano does. Okay? So yeah, you're getting lots of benefits, Karen, for sure. Darla, I went to a doctor to get bioidentical hormones. Okay. I'm having trouble getting my A1C down, and she suggested GLP-1. What are your suggestions, Dr. Martin? Well, listen. It's a designer drug. Let me see. No, my phone. They just got sued. Ozempic, Wegovy, for $2 billion. Okay? Brand new lawsuit. Class action lawsuit. People, look, you have to understand what GLP-1 drugs. Okay? Those are your designer weight loss drugs. And yeah, they work. They work. You got weight to lose? They work. But there's a boatload of side effects. But, big buts. But when you stop them, okay? When you stop them, all the weight comes off. All the weight comes back. When you stop them, you found out you lost a lot of muscle and you lost some fat too, but you lose mostly muscle. And that ain't good. One of the biggest side effects is paralysis of the stomach. Will that return? Sometimes not. There's a lot of side effects. You have to understand that. So if you are going there, hold on, let me just, because I'm on a little tangent. Darla, I had to look at the name again. I'm a senior. I pull out my senior card 10 times a day. Okay? I got every right. I'm a senior. Now, okay? You have to weigh that. Like for a doctor to say, well, let's get your A1C down, and they're suggesting a medication, I would rather you go natural. And I wouldn't take a drug to get my A1C down, personally. Because at the end of the day, what is it? What is it? It's food. You and carbs, Darla. If you're getting trouble A1C down, you got trouble with carbs. So the answer is really, you don't get along with them. You got like an allergy to them. You got to do that. Cut out the carbs, cut out the sugar. Don't cheat if because like I said, the GLP-1, well, fabulous. Well, everybody's on them. And they're making like listen to this, a $2 billion lawsuit, they'll settle. It won't even put a dent in their revenues. That's how big these companies have become. Designer drugs. The easy way. I wouldn't do it. That's me. Okay? That's me. I wouldn't take that route. For me. Okay? Thanks, Darla. I appreciate the question. Dr. Martin, what are the best supplements? This is Val. I think I've answered this before. Maybe I have, maybe I have. Yes, I have. Gluteal, your glutes, your butt. We've been talking about butt. What are your best supplements for gluteal tendinopathy? No fun under the sun. Gluteal, your glutes, your butt muscles. Okay? Tendinopathy, no fun. Hard to fix. Look, as far as, because what you want is my combination of anti-inflammatory. I like Navitol, I like curcumin, I like DHA. That's what I would do. But you need to get treatment probably on it too. You really need to get a practitioner to get at it. Gluteal tendinopathy, butt tendinopathy, that's what it is. Sandra, can I take Digestol after a meal? I forgot to take it. Absolutely you can. I mean, it's probably ideal to take it before you eat, get all those enzymes in your stomach, but afterwards, absolutely you can. Absolutely you can. It's so good for you. And as we get older especially, you just don't make the amount of enzymes you used to. And today with our carb-loaded diets, enzymes are absolutely essential. You want to pick up your B12? You need your stomach to be working properly. Okay. And by the way, our Digestol formula was made for people too that have SIBO. SIBO. Not SIBO, because they call it SIBO. SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth. It really isn't that. It's small intestine fungal overgrowth. Where have you heard the word fungus or yeast? Here. The invasion of the Third Army, the Trojan horse that comes into the body. Okay? Thank you, Sandra. Noeline, shall I get, I don't even know how to pronounce that. It's sort of like a moss. That, is it good for you, take for your health? I've read some stuff on it. I haven't had a lot of experience on it in terms of patients that used it or whatever. It's got amino acids in it, vitamins, mineral. I like ashwagandha better. I like that root better because I've used it for years and years and years. Ashwagandha. I love it. It's good for you. So as far as, how do you even pronounce that? Shilajit? I don't know. Shilajit? Shila whatever. I don't know how to pronounce it. But, yeah. Hey, you want to try it? I got no issue with it. Okay? But I don't want to give you, is it safe? Oh, you asked Noeline if it's safe to take. Yeah, I think so. Okay, I think so. Brenda, I have burning and tingling in my legs, and my CT scan on my spine showed mild degeneration. Okay. Some atherosclerosis in the narrowing, which is narrowing, yeah, of course, in my lower legs. You've been active all your life, and don't stop. Brenda, don't stop, okay? I take a lot of supplements. Doctor told me to continue to exercise. Your doctor's smart. You do that. Continue. Don't stop moving with circulation, okay? My triglycerides and HDL are good. Good for you. Why is this happening? Well, Brenda, look, it could be, I can't say because you have mild degeneration in your spine, that can certainly be a factor there, okay? Absolutely. The atherosclerosis, the hardening of your arteries in your legs, your lower legs. But you got burning and tingling in my legs. Do you got them in your feet? You see, Brenda, because a lot of times you could be low in B12 and your blood test might not necessarily show that, because we always talk about here at the Martin Clinic, blood tests for B12 are 100 years old. They should be given a birthday party. They're over 100 years old. Given a birthday party and put to bed almost, because they tell you what's the B12 in your blood, but they don't tell you if your B12 is in your cells. If you're getting burning and tingling in the legs, a lot of times that's B12. Here's what I would do right out of the gate, Bren. I would be on Navitol because of nitric oxide, and B12 because of nitric oxide. And remember, B12 protects your myelin sheath. That is your nerve. And it's possible, Brenda, even though your triglycerides and HDL are good, what is your A1C? Okay, find that out, because it's possible that could be up a little bit elevated, even though your triglycerides and your HDL are good for you. But you might have, sometimes I found that in my practice. A lot of times I found sugar in the urine, or I found their A1C was slightly elevated. I said, you and carbs ain't getting along anymore. You got to stop them. But it could be strictly circulation. That's why the Navitol and the B12. It could be strictly nerve impingement. That's why the B12 is good too. So that's what I would do, Brenda. And if you've been a good eater and you're taking supplements, hey, you probably saved your bacon. You probably would be 100 times worse if you hadn't. Like I used to tell patients in my office this, okay? You made an investment. Well, doc, how come? Well, first of all, how come I got sick? Well, look, you could be the healthiest person in the world, you think. And we don't live in a perfect world. You're going to degenerate to some extent. You wouldn't want, Brenda, to look at my spine in x-rays. I've had some injuries. L4, L5 for me is a mess. I was in a car accident. My C5 neck, C5, C6, completely osteophytes and degeneration, but I stay in shape. But we don't live in a perfect world. Your body's breaking down. You might have some atherosclerosis, like you say, in your legs, the hardening, but that doesn't mean you can't improve that. Why did it happen? What were you eating as a kid? And what were your, it takes a lot of years to get atherosclerosis. Okay? And it doesn't sound like you have that much narrowing in your spine, like stenosis, but maybe enough to be causing that. Okay? Brenda, thanks. We love that question. Okay. Caroline. Well, they didn't say Caroline. They got Caroline. I think it's Caroline, but I could be wrong. Okay, the spelling. So, sweet Caroline. Dr. Martin, can you tell us if there's a link between bulimia and hypoglycemia? A link between bulimia, okay, bulimia is when you gorge yourself and then you gorge yourself and then you either vomit or do everything you can to get the food out of you after you've gorge yourself. That's a mental health condition. I think there is a connection. Hypoglycemia, or as much as fluctuations in blood sugars. I'm a big guy in chemistry in the brain. I'm a big guy in blood supply in the brain. I'm a big guy on battery packs in the brain. Remember the summer of 2022? When mental health was should have been turned on its head, because what they showed was bipolar, depression, schizophrenia, okay? Alzheimer's was an energy problem, a mitochondria problem, the battery pack problems in your brain, swimming in the wrong fuel, swimming in the Atlantic. You can't drink the water. And because for years and years and years, oh, your brain needs glucose. It can't work without glucose. And the best fuel is not glucose for your brain. The best fuel for your brain are ketones, fat, logs on the fire, fat burning. Okay? Fat burning. So that's why, like for me, you know, that's what I usually, you know, what I would usually look at. So, you know, in terms of the connection, yeah, I think there is a connection. I really do. And what comes first? Usually, what is, sorry, I'm just getting a note here. Because of, you know, the fact that it's energy up in the brain. Look, let me see. Are there any other questions? I think I might be done. Hold on a minute. Just checking that. Or Dorothy, what causes a swollen spleen? Well, a lot of times the spleen become inflamed after a trauma, like car accident or whatever, because your body, you're losing blood and your spleen has to produce an enormous amount of red blood cells, and you know, spleen too can get enlarged by alcohol. Too much. Alcoholics often have an enlarged spleen, and you know, what else causes it? Certain diseases would cause an enlarged spleen. And, you know, but usually spleen is trauma. Even in infection, certain infections could cause an enlarged spleen when your body is trying to produce too many red blood cells, or certain cancers could, you know, cause an enlarged spleen. That was, hold on a minute, who asked me that? Dorothy. Okay. I think I hit them all, guys. I really do. I think I finished it. I think. Okay. So, you guys are the greatest audience in the history of audiences. Okay. And I mean it. No, we love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Share this. We'll try and send it out even in the newsletter form so that you can read those answers. We'll try and do that next week. Okay, we love you guys. We'll talk to you soon.